Hey, it's Julie Mack here. I'm super excited because in the next few minutes I'm going to show you how to get started on that journey towards hiring not just any au pair, but the au pair that fits right into your family chaos, minus all the drama and the stress. Certainly most of it anyway. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Julie McDonald. I'm a journalist and broadcaster. I've recently written a book all about hiring and managing au pairs, but I want to tell you how I came to be a sort of unofficial host family au pair relationship whisperer. Well, as I said, I'm a journalist and I'm also a 5-time host mum. Just like you, probably, if you've ever hired an au pair, I have made some pretty huge mistakes along the way. And we want to have you being able to manage that au pair like a lady or a man boss. Now, I don't know if you've ever struggled to find affordable, flexible childcare. Just about everybody I speak to with kids at school and at secondary school tells me the same thing. It's almost impossible to find that holy grail that's flexible enough to fit in with family life. And I know that I've thought to myself so many times, dear God, there's got to be a better way than this because it makes everybody so stressed. So today I want to spend some time talking to you about a book that I've written over 2 years where I've researched all over the globe looking at host families and particularly the most successful host families in the world. These are the families that have hired anywhere between 8 and 13 au pairs in a lifetime, and between them all they've hired more than 300 au pairs, so that's a huge amount of experience for other host families to be able to draw on, just like me, just like you. So I started writing this book because I'd had a couple of really difficult experiences. And so many people reacted to the very beginnings of the book and said, wouldn't it be fantastic to have a community around this book too? And so that's what the Awesome Au Pair is. We don't sell au pairs, we're just in the business of supporting you at home on your au pair journey, wherever you're at. So let me ask you a question. Where are you at on your au pair journey? Are you somebody who's right at the beginning? Perhaps you don't even know what an au pair is. You've heard that friends have got them. You think it might be a good idea. You've also heard it can be a tricky relationship to manage. Or maybe you've had a couple of au pairs and it just didn't work out, or you found they didn't want to stay long enough, or maybe it was just frankly too much hassle to manage, or maybe you've been sworn off au pairs altogether. Even though you know it's a good option, you just couldn't get it to work for you. I'm going to spend some time in this video giving you a couple of tips that I've learned over the years that I hope are going to send you on that journey, and I'm going to explain to you all about the resources that we have at the Awesome Au Pair, because I'd love it if you became part of our community. Because to be frank with you, the more experience that we've got, then the more that we can help each other. So I took the plunge, hired my very first au pair, and life got better in a matter of months. The flexible childcare that she was able to provide as a family member allowed me to put my energy into my business, to spend more time with my kids. And it was the flexible and affordable solution that everybody talked about, until it wasn't. Now, despite feeling that little bit more supported, I spent a lot of time managing another young person in my home. My to-do list got longer instead of shorter. Now, we're still good friends and we absolutely love her dearly, but I won't lie, and I think she would say the same, we've had chats about it, that it was a minefield. It was a really difficult relationship to manage. We had communication issues. I didn't know how to manage somebody in my own home, how to be firm and assertive about what we needed. And I didn't know where to get the energy to do all of this when I was so tired. I could barely remember to put on my pants, never mind anything else. Now, I wanted to be there with my kids, but now I found I had another kid to look after, and maybe you've been there. Perhaps you are there right now. Perhaps you're worried about going there. So fast forward another year and another failed au pair relationship later, and I was pretty much convinced the au pair relationship was not for me. I was thinking, maybe I should just put work aside. But I could see other people knocking it out of the park, and I wasn't. And then I discovered the root of the problem, and it was pretty uncomfortable. Because you see, the real reason for my au pair relationships failing was me. And it took one very difficult end to an au pair relationship that was just temporary for me to realise, you know what, there's got to be a different way. Now, to be very clear, we've always been an incredibly respectful, kind, well-paying host family. We love our au pairs. But you know what? That turned out actually not to be enough. And when I asked the agency that we had paid a small fortune to, their response was, well, you know what, sometimes it just works out this way. Au pairs are not to be relied upon. And I thought, hang on a minute, so I'm supposed to hire someone who may not fit into my family and just, you know, hope for the best. So if an au pair is not to be relied upon, then what's the point in having one? I felt genuinely despondent. It makes me quite upset to think about it. So I think this one.
No!
Okay. This one. Get this one. So I knew that I needed some sort of a system. I needed to know what other more experienced families were doing that could help me to take this potentially amazing childcare solution and really make it work for us and our au pair at the same time. So in the past 4 years, I have spent almost nothing on hiring au pairs. And you know what? The relationships have been absolutely amazing. Their support means that I now run a profitable business. I get super quality time with my kids and my partner, and we're able to give our au pairs an incredible experience, minus the usual stress and drama. So I want to show you how to do it to make the most of your au pair relationship by doing most of the management of your au pair in the first month, and then simply let them get on with it while you all live a better, calmer life. So to find out what the most successful host families were doing better than me and most of the other families that I know, I interviewed host families all over the world from different income brackets, different nationalities, different family values. But you know what? These families all had one thing in common, and that's that each of these families is a serial host family, and they had a little system going on. These guys have each hosted 8 or more au pairs in their homes, and in total, they've hired and managed over 300 au pairs and counting. Now that is a huge lot of experience that you and I can learn from. We also continually interview au pairs, and in fact we are in the process of building a whole au pair community with our own amazing Aussie au pair Katie at the helm. This is Katie. Now she helps me to understand au pairs' fears and worries, and we talk to each other about the different points of view. So we're trying to create the most supportive au pair and host family community in the world. We want to keep everybody safe and sane. Now next year we'll be rolling out a completely new way of finding and managing your au pair, which if you come on board with the Awesome Au Pair, you will get your hands on this first as part of our new community. So using this do-it-yourself system, I've been getting results every single year for 4 years now without paying an au pair agency. I know that this isn't possible in some countries where agencies are actually the only way for an au pair to enter the country. Regardless though, my goal wasn't actually to save money, it was to have a harmonious relationship with my au pair and to hire as close to the right one as I possibly could, so that the time that I spend managing is minimal, and instead we're acting like colleagues at home, get each other, respect each other and support each other. And you know what? I discovered that actually doing this was easier without an agency than with one. So since then, I have stuck to a simple system. I've shared it with friends and family and tested it here in the UK and around the world to make sure that I wasn't just, getting lucky a few times. So now we have created our membership site and training so that we can show you how you can also hire and manage the right au pair without a boatload of toxic stress and anxiety. You can use the system whether you're using an agency or not. I designed the training so I can help you gain more balance with work, home, kids and family, and have that childcare nailed. We discovered that host families who follow our system not only rate their au pair relationships as way above the average, their au pairs also stay for longer, and their au pairs themselves rate the experience much more highly, which is a massive plus around the world where Generation Z don't want to stay longer than 6 months, and in Europe where it's a big problem, there's an au pair shortage, and au pairs, particularly in the UK, aren't keen to stay for more than 3 to 6 months at a time. So that means less having to hire an au pair as soon, barely 3 months after they've arrived. Now, what I need you to understand is that time is of the essence. I want to show you the awesome au pair system and what's got me to go from being in utter unadulterated frustration and not being able to find affordable, reliable childcare to finding exactly the right source of au pair help to support me and my family at home. But I need to make sure I'm only working with those who are genuinely serious about investing in their au pair relationships. So if you've watched the video up till now and you're thinking, you know what, I'll just think about it and come back later, I would say stop watching this now. Unless you're going to be really invested, it's not worth your time, and I don't want to take it up because I know it's so precious. What I'm going to share with you is strictly available for you right now. Once you leave, the offer is off the table, and that's because we also want to protect au pairs who are pretty vulnerable in the marketplace right now. We only want to invite folks into our community who care deeply about the quality of childcare and au pair relationships in their home. I'm often asked, you know, what's the secret to amazing au pair relationships? All of your au pairs seem to be fantastic. But I want to be honest with you, it does take a little bit of work and respect. Not as much work as it takes to hire the wrong au pair time after time and have to get frustrated with them and with yourself every goddamn day. I get it. When you've got kids and a job and a life busier than, you know, Walmart on a Black Friday, the idea of having a system to find an au pair and still have to work at it, it's not exactly appealing, but it is the reality. And it's the same whether you have a professional nanny, a childminder, a babysitter, a granny, you still have to work at that relationship. So what I'm proposing is to show you how to put that work into your au pair relationship without massively adding to your to-do list.
It's just the easiest system to follow to get yourself the best chance of getting an au pair that's a perfect match for you at the other side. It's as simple as that. You can try it on your own, but I can pretty much guarantee you will need at least 4 au pairs of varying success to work out all that stuff on your own, and you still won't have what you get with the awesome au pair. Sign up, do yourself a favour, just sign up, fill in the stuff, make it to your family, and then start looking for your au pair. And if you've already started, do it before you choose one, because you've got such a much better chance of success, and in the long run it's going to save you so much time and grief over not having the right person in your house.
I think the biggest thing with the awesome au pair is that they help you and teach you, actually, because we're not taught how to manage another person in your home. No one taught me how to do this, but what they do is they help you to manage another person in your home, manage someone who is potentially, you treat them like a family member, but someone who is responsible for your life, for your children, and they help you manage that person who is managing your life. I know it sounds, easy, or anyone can do that. No, in reality, it's quite hard. Having the skills and the patience to talk to someone. With working mums especially, we're so used to juggling 100 things, and we expect this new person to come into our home and just take over. It's not as simple as that. You have to train them from the very, very beginning and train them on the very basic things, or what we would think are basic, but to them it really isn't. So you need a lot of patience. Speaking to Julie at the Awesome Au Pair helped me put all of these things into a box and basically manage it properly, and give me the confidence to speak to my au pair about things that might otherwise niggle me or I wasn't sure about, or but actually the way forward is just being honest and actually helping you have a very good communication with your au pair. Because I think that is the key.
The idea of a community made up of host families and au pairs, I love. It will be for the au organic things that you can't possibly preordain, no matter how well you've prepared, no matter what guides you've shared, how you've adhered to contracts and so on. There will, as in any relationship, be things that you can't predict. Being able to exchange challenges and solutions with a community of like-minded people you will absolutely find at least one person on there who's gone through the same thing as you, will be massively reassuring, so you don't feel like you're mad or you're going through it by yourself, and almost certainly provide a couple of ideas about how to get around it.
Isn't it easier to just go through an agency? Lots of people ask me that. I think it might well be for some people, and I have done this in the past, but I want to give you an example of what you can do on your own with our system. I've spent $150 in online fees to find my au pairs in the last 3 years, and all the relationships have been incredibly successful and stress-free using our system. By contrast, one of our members spent $1,500 hiring au pairs through agencies in the last 3 years, and she's had 2 failed relationships which caused a lot of heartache and drama, and 1 au pair who is proving to be very, very hard to manage because they're not really compatible. So whether you go through an agency or not, depending where you are in the world, you might not have a choice but to go through one. Our resources are designed to give you the maximum knowledge and control about how the relationship really works, so that you can basically hire the right person and better interact with the agency so you can get what you really want. I completely believe it's possible with actually very little effort for every family to experience this, and awesome au pair relationships, all the benefits they bring, and I want to show you how to do it. But the first thing is you have to approach the relationship in the right way, and according to our research, that means doing 2 tiny itty bitty little things that most families miss. I had no idea I had to even ask myself these questions. I should know I did this not once but twice, but now I do these things at the start of every new au pair relationship. So the first one is start by being brutally honest about what you need from your au pair, and I mean forensically honest. And don't just think about it, put it on paper, because then it's real. And do it before you even consider hiring your au pair, or if you're already in a relationship and it's not going as well as you'd like, ask yourself honestly 2 things. Why do I want an au pair, and why do I need an au pair? These 2 questions are vital because you'll start to understand what's motivating you to hire an au pair and not just what you need. This is so important because for most of us it means admitting something that's a bit difficult to say out loud, which is that we'd rather not have an au pair at all. We'd rather have a family member to support us, but it's often not possible. Now, many host families across the globe are reluctantly hiring au pairs, and then they quietly seethe and resent the relationship, which is one of the chief reasons that they never fully invest in it, and then it just falls flat on its face, kind of leaving upset parties on both sides. It's okay to feel this way because lots of host families do, but the key is to admit that you feel that way and not to let that kind of toxic emotion drain any potential that the relationship might have. You can download our basic au pair kit, which includes our Freaky Families questionnaire. Now, all the questions in there have been designed hand in hand with an NLP specialist to give you the best chance of success. There's also our blank editable timetable and a sample chapter of the book. Now, the second thing that we all have to do is stop pretending to be the perfect family, which is really difficult because all the families out there advertising look pretty perfect, don't they? But this new generation of au pairs, Generation Z, that's what you are, Tessa, isn't it? Generation Z.
I'm one of them.
They're not looking for a cookie cutter au pair experience, and frankly that's great news because it means that by doing things the right way, we can match our unique families with the right au pair by using simple, repeatable system where everybody knows what's expected of them. Now, to be frank, you don't need our whole system. Right now, you can just sign up, grab the basic toolkit, fill in that questionnaire, and then use the information in it to write your profile. And then the biggest decision you can make is to invest properly in the relationship. The chapter from our book will also help you to understand what's most important to put in your profile to make sure that you get the absolute right fit for your family. That's pretty much it. Do those 2 steps and you are well on the right path towards having a successful relationship. We've got loads of resources inside our membership dashboard, and they will literally transform the way you think about your au pair relationships, and they'll pretty much guarantee you a much smoother adventure as a host family. The Awesome Au Pair System is an in-depth program, and it's designed to take you from right this very minute through to hiring exactly the right au pair for you and your family, and then learning to manage them like a boss, minus all of that anxiety and drama. You still will have awkward conversations as you get used to it, but we'll be able to make those easier. Now, just by following the steps laid out in one of our membership plans, life is about to get easier. So today, I'd like to offer you the chance to sign up for our Total Toolkit membership, which gives you all of this. The book, How to Find an Awesome Au Pair Who Won't Crash Your Car, Steal Your Husband and Terrorise Your Home, which is that 10-chapter book I told you all about writing, stuff full of everything I've learned over the past 5 years. It includes an interview series with au pair host families and professionals, which takes you through every single step in the au pair hiring and managing process and how to do it right first time, because we find that people tend to come to us when things have gone wrong. We don't want that. Now, there's one chapter in the book about the sort of bizarre psychology around hiring an au pair. It alone has prompted our members to email us in their droves, saying that they now understand themselves and the relationship way better than before. And crucially, they know where they were going wrong. The book explains everything that you didn't know you had to know about hiring and managing au pairs wherever you are in the world. We've broken the whole process down into chapters with host family examples, case study stories, and also practical problem solving suggestions throughout the whole book. You'll also get several host family and au pair video interviews, cheat sheets that go along with them because I know you're tight on time, and a bonus how to interview mega chapter. Now, this is stuff full of the tried and tested questions that you need to ask if you want to get the right fit au pair, not just anyone, but the right fit one. Now, we had a global NLP specialist and a grandmother oversee this part of the book, and you know what, it's absolutely dynamite. You're also going to get something I get really excited about. It sounds really boring, but it's called the Au Pair Chemistry Grid. You also get one for the host family. And this is designed in a very simple way to be shared with your potential au pair when you've met and you're just kind of feeling your way and deciding if you like each other. And this little grid will tell you how compatible you are with that potential au pair in 5 seconds flat. And even better than that, this little grid will show you where your likely areas of conflict are going to be, so that before you've even interviewed them, you know where you need to ask those extra questions. It is so simple, but so useful. And I have referred back to it time and time again. So you'll get the chemistry grid. You'll also get something called a Freaky Families questionnaire, which starts you off right at the beginning of the book. And it asks you all the questions to really unearth, what are you expecting from the relationship? What do you think it's going to do from you? What do you need it to do for you? What kind of family are you? Are you loud? Are you quiet? It goes through everything so that when you come to write your profile, you know exactly what to write. Everything is designed to take up the minimum of your time. We've also got a great little spreadsheet where when you're interviewing your au pairs, you can write the kind of top 5 qualities that you want them to have, and you can score that person. Now you might think, oh my God, I'm not into doing all of this work. It sounds like a huge amount. The trouble is that for most of us, when we get into the interview, we start to go, oh, the person's amazing. Look how lovely they are. Oh, they've got a cute dog. Oh, what a nice bracelet. And we forget to actually ask the questions that we need answers to. So this is what the spreadsheet helps you to do, and it helps to really, really keep you on track to make sure you're getting not just the person that you like, but a person who actually has the qualities that you've said through the Freaky Family questionnaire that you need in your home. We've got some other absolutely incredible resources, and the idea is that you read the book, and in every chapter it says, okay, now download this and fill it in. So step by step, we're going to be holding your hand in how to do this exactly the right way. Once you've done it once, you're just going to do it every year. Just going to rock out these documents, fill them in, and off you go. It's so easy to get to grips with them. You just bring it out year after year. That's what I do. Dust off the documents from the year before, bring them out this time. So a couple of documents that we have that are super important. The agencies swear by them, and this is something they have got absolutely right. You are going to need a contract. We call ours a letter of commitment because under the eyes of the law in most places in the world, it's not going to hold up to scrutiny. And also people are freaked out by those documents because they're not really written in people speak. So what this letter of commitment is a people speak contract. It's written in a way that au pairs can understand. We've designed it by talking to them and asking them, what do you need this to say? It sets out, where they're going to live, what their hours of work will be, what you expect from them in shorthand, so that when they've read that and they've signed that, they've got a very good idea of what they'll be doing. Some people miss this step and they say, oh, we'll just figure it out when they get there. But honestly, that's where things start to go wrong. Our other document that you're really going to need is called a house guide. Now, what's in a house guide? It's basically a brain dump of everything that goes on in your house. Wait until you see how long it is. You realise that as a mum, you are carrying all of this stuff around in your brain. It's overwhelming. So you're going to make up this document, which is all sorted for you. All you have to do is follow each section, fill it in. We've even studied the ideal length for au pairs to understand. There are photos that go in there, photos of the home, their bedroom, photos of granny and grandpa, all the numbers that they're going to need, where is school, who do they phone when they get there. All of this stuff goes into the house guide. What do kids eat in the summertime? What are a good idea for, leisure activities for the kids to do when it's wet, when it's dry. And also in here, you're going to write about yourselves, who you are as parents. And you're going to write about your pet hates, things you can't have going on in your house, and how you are in the morning. And you know what? You're going to ask your au pair to fill in a whole load of stuff when she gets to you, so that you all start on a level playing field in terms of being able to understand one another. This little section in our house guide has been a game changer for so many families and au pairs, to start off by being brutally honest about who they are as people and what it's going to be like living together. Also in the house guide is a tried and tested set of house rules. Now these again have been brought together by all the families that we researched, and they said to us, if you use these rules, you can't go far wrong. All you have to do is tweak them, and there'll be lots of rules in there that you didn't even know you have to set. So again, everything's done for you, you just tweak it. I reckon it took me about an hour to tweak mine, and then it was done. Once you've used all of the interview accessories and you've found your au pair, you simply send them the letter of commitment, and you can decide, do I send them the house guide now before they arrive, or wait till they get there? And it will be up to you to ask your au pair, are you someone who likes that information first, or will that overwhelm you? But again, these documents are designed to minimize the time that you're going to spend managing, because it's all done for you and it's all on paper. We also scan ours into our phone, so our au pair can take it with us everywhere, and we're working on an app so that you'll be able to do the same for your au pair. Now, the point of the Awesome Au Pair hiring guide is not to take a poke at au pairs or to say, they're SH1T and we're all amazing as host families. There is no such thing as a perfect host family or a perfect au pair. There are no perfect relationships. I had to have a difficult conversation with my own au pair, the wonderful Katie, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind me saying just a couple of weeks ago. But you know what? We got through it because we are honest and we're respectful, and we set out the rules of our relationship really early on. So that's what these documents can help you to do. These documents, although they sound very boring, they form the bedrock of your relationship with your au pair. I wouldn't be tempted to rip off the generic ones that your agency or the online sites give you, because they're not specific enough to your family and they're not filled out with the right things. By filling these ones out, particular to your home and your needs, is one of the most powerful secrets of a successful au pair relationship. All of our documents are tried and tested, and because of the great feedback that we have with our community, we're always changing them, adding other bits, adding other house rules that I never thought of, but thought that's quite useful. So that's the benefit of these documents, is that they're always changing, and you can always email us even if you got your membership a couple of years ago, and we'll send you the updated one. I honestly believe that you can achieve great results, and I think what this program will give you is the ability to find that right fit au pair for your family, to spend less time managing your au pair and more time just living, being with your kids, the holy grail time for yourself, or doing whatever it is that you like to do in your spare time, because you're going to feel calmer, and more sane and frankly more confident about managing someone in your own home. It's a simple system and it was designed specifically with you in mind. So here's the deal. I'm offering this to you because, no exaggeration, when I sorted my childcare, I changed my life. I built a business that gives people employment. I have more time now with my kids. I'm more connected to them and filled up than ever before. And instead of feeling that spousal hate from my husband, you know, our family's just kind of humming along, and I don't feel like I'm drowning and failing at everything. I'm still failing at some things, but it feels better. Now, I'd like the chance to change other host families' lives too. And we've made a pledge here at the Awesome Au Pair that every time someone joins our community, we're going to give a portion of our profits to a charity called Women for Women. So if you join, you'll be helping to turn our First World Challenge into an opportunity for women across the globe who are struggling in poverty. So if you want to become a part of this group, an official member of the Awesome Au Pair, it's not going to cost you hundreds of dollars, and you can have me as your coach and your mentor every day in our Facebook groups, creating loads of incredible, passionate resources to supercharge your childcare relationships. It's going to cost you $90. So for $90, which is 24 pence or cents a day across a year, you can join. Or if you want to think about it across the lifetime of your au pair relationships, we reckon most families have at least 6 au pairs. So it's going to cost you 0.04 pence or cents for every day that you successfully hire and manage an au pair. That's it to supercharge your most precious and potentially amazing relationship with your au pair and with your family. So it means everybody watching can afford to participate, and you can join right now for just $5. You can hang out for an entire week. If you love the experience, do nothing. And in that time, you can check out all of our resources. We've created some specifically for our trial members, which you'll have full access to. It's like a 7-day host family boot camp, and there's loads of interviews, downloadable cheat sheets to get you started and to give you a flavour of what's in the rest of the membership programme. If you decide it's not right for you for any reason at all, whether it's next week or 30 days from now, you can just email me at julie@theawesomeaupair.com and you won't be billed ever again. But before you sign up, there is one very important condition. This community is a judgment and meanness-free zone. We only want people in it who want to treat their au pairs and others with respect and take a bit of time to put the materials that we've created into practice, because otherwise we'll be wasting your time. Now, sometimes that is going to mean taking a cold, hard look at what's really going on in our family lives and why we find it so hard to ask for and accept help. Now, once I got over this hurdle that I did need support, everything changed. I have 2 more surprises waiting for you. I'm also going to give you a copy of my very own profile, which I've used to successfully recruit my last 3 au pairs. Now, 2 of them signed up to stay for 2 years, so it's been pretty effective. You'll get to take a look at it and apply the same techniques to your own profile so that you can learn how to screen out the wrong au pairs and find those little gems that are going to change your life, and you're going to change theirs too. Now, finally, I'm going to give you instant access to our Awesome Au Pair Basic Toolkit, and it's got a sample chapter of the book in it, it's got a timetable in it, it's got a couple of interviews with host families, and one about interviewing, which is really, really fantastic. So let's do this. This is a once-in-a-lifetime offer to join our community. When we hit our first 1,000 members, the opportunity to benefit from this specific offer will be gone, because we want to make sure everyone's getting the attention that they deserve. So we'll be capping our membership there. So click the link right below to join for just $5, and let's make 2018 your breakthrough au pair year.
You think about it, having an au pair is one of the most important decisions you will make in your life beyond your partner and having kids in the first place, because they're so integral to your family and they do make such a difference if you get the right person. And I think if you put it into that context of this is one of those major life decisions almost, without putting the fear of God into people, is an opportunity to get it right. You wouldn't get married without doing some planning about your wedding. You wouldn't have a baby without at least visiting one baby site and buying a cot and a few bare essentials. So why would you hire an au pair who's going to come live in your house without doing some work up front that is more than just, making sure you've got a spare bedroom ready for them? I think And I think that's really the key. Is it's a big decision. They're going to become part of your family, and you are going to rely on them. Depending on how much you need them to do, they could become the most important person in your family in terms of making it all run smoothly and helping everybody to be happy. So you've got to expect there's got to be some work in up front to do that. It's not an off the peg solution. It's not like, you know, walking into a shop and just buying a coat. It's all so personal. I think you have to do that work. But the good news is once you've done it once, you don't have to do it every time. And I think that's also really important to kind of get across that message. When I first looked at the Awesome Au Pair stuff in the house rules, I was like, oh my God, there's like pages and pages of stuff to fill in. But, you know, most of it's been filled in already, which gives you loads of ideas about what you should put in there. A lot of it you can just tweak to be right for your family. A lot of it is things you would never have probably thought of yourself to put in, which you think, geez, that's really useful, let's keep that in there. And then add my own bit on. But once you've done it once, I've used my house rules now for the last 3 au pairs that we've had, and I've tweaked them, but a tiny bit each time. I've maybe spent half an hour up getting them up to date, and that's mainly because the children's routines have changed, and I've had to change like the timetable bit rather than any of the real kind of nitty-gritty content.